Comrades Marathon has 6 official charities. Now, one thing I would love for you guys to understand that when you are choosing to run for charity, you're running for more than yourself. You're running for a bigger reason. You're running for more than a medal. And that is such a privilege because your life will never be the same. And I always tell people that once you run for charity, you are blessing people that can never pay you back.
I ran 12 Comrades and I chased the Bull Rowan 7 times and I got 1.
So what I must tell you is that my presentation is going to focus on helping you prepare, okay? 68% of runners who do not finish Comrades start with an injury. And we know this because we've done the surveys. We didn't make this number up, okay? The number one reason for failure at Comrades is starting with an injury. The phase we are in right now is actually creating the habit, building up slowly, and preparing your body to do the Comrades training, which starts in March.
And you know, Coach Parry said, anything can happen on race day. I mean, I've had A-seaters in 12-hour bus. We don't ask questions. We don't charge. And please, A-seater, when the hippos, which is us, the H-seaters, find you, don't explain. It's okay. So, Injanga is the one hill that on the up run and the down run, it's the same.
Yeah, it's up.
It's up.
Yeah.
And up and up. Learn to walk. I walk at 8.5 minutes a kilometer. But make it part of your training. Don't let it be a surprise to you on the day that you're gonna walk. From me to you, all the best in your run. Have an amazing journey. The training is the toughest and qualifying is the toughest for Comrades. On the day, it won't be that bad.
So welcome, have a good evening, enjoy it, soak it up, get inspired. It's going to be a night that you can take so much, you can have so many questions, and don't hesitate to ask. I believe you will be sticking around afterwards to just answer a few questions and so forth. But welcome, and let's go on to Lindsey Parry.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. That's what I used to tell people when I started this gig, is that I stand up here to tell you what not to do because I made all the mistakes myself. Okay, so yeah, this evening we are going to have a couple of guest speakers, which I'll introduce as we go, if I can get my clicker to work. And the show is quite a long show, lots of information, but really the point of the Comrades Roadshows is we get them in early, and it's to help settle runners down and tell them how to prepare for this race. So I don't want to go into too much detail there, but if I can get the first slide up there, Swali, so I can introduce Rory. Otherwise, I'll just wing it. Also good at that. I've got to get it in there. Hey. Okay, so I'm going to bring Rory up. He said he's not going to chat for too long. I just said he has to talk longer than his introduction. So Rory Steyn, one of the new board members on the Comrades Marathon board, and I'm sure everybody has noticed a renewed energy at Comrades. We certainly can feel it and we can see it. A lot of exciting things happening. Some of you might know Rory, because he became famous as Nelson Mandela's first bodyguard. He has run 12 Comrades, so also pretty experienced, has his green number, and he fulfilled his dream to complete a marathon on each of the 7 continents. I'm glad that came up because I couldn't remember the year that he did that, in April 2013. And he's also respected and sought after conference speaker and regularly interviewed on South African media regarding private security. So, Rory, please come up and talk to the runners on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Lindsey. How's it, everybody? My first job is to thank you all for making time to come out in the middle of the week. And my second job is to recognize my fellow board member, Nontu. Where are you hiding? There she is. She must be very persuasive because she got her husband to come along and help. And it's nice to see us, servant leadership is a very, very good concept. And I learned from the very best servant leader, personally. So you saw Nontu standing here doing the registration. Lekker to see that. So thanks, Nonts. May I just see by show of hands how many of you are novices running your first Comrades? Wonderful. Well done. Give yourselves a hand. That's lekker. As Lindsey said, I am going to be brief because this evening is not about me. It's about all of you, especially the novices. I remember going to this forum used to happen at UJ in the big auditorium there, led by the late Don Oliver. And he always used to start off with, where are we now? Talking about the training. So I'll leave that to Lindsey. But just by way of introduction, my journey with Comrades kind of had 2 starts. And watch this space. In 1988, I was playing rugby for Joburg Bobbies. I was a cop. Even when I served the president, I was a cop. And I got a smack on my knee and needed an ACL reconstruction in 1988. Had the surgery, 6 months of rehab, and just so happened, complete coincidence, that the physio who treated me through those 6 months was herself a Comrades runner. And she's a legend, Tony Hesp. Some of you on the East Rand may know Tony because I think she's the lady with the most Comrades finishes. She's got about 33 or 34. At the time, she was like a 12 or 13 finish green number. And I said to her, why do you do this? I said, my phone doesn't even phone that far. Why would you put yourself through 90 kilometers? I mean, all I could think about was the 100 and odd meters of a rugby field, you know? And then, in 6 months is a long time. So we became friends and we're still friends today. And I said to her, okay, Tony, if you fix this knee that I can play rugby again, when I'm finished my rugby career, I'll run Comrades with you. And things happened, and then I ended up in this position. The greatest privilege of my life was to serve Madiba. And in 1998, he went to the Comrades. It was an uprun. It finished at the old agricultural showgrounds in Pietermaritzburg. And 5 minutes to the final gun, it was still an 11-hour gun, the officials came and called the president, and there we stood, literally on the line. The line was in front of us across the trail like that, and I was standing next to or behind him, I can't remember, and I just watched these finishers come across the line. Every color, age, gender, size, height, age, finishing, some of them in tears, some of them falling on the ground and kissing it. And I thought, wow, if they can do this, so can I. And then I remembered what I had said to Tony. So that was 98, and I finished the following year in 1999 when the president retired. And I ran I kept my word, I ran the 2000 Comrades, which was the first big one. It was the Millennium, the first one that had a 24,000 field of entrance. And we've got the same this year, by the way. So you're going to be in a big bunch when you stand on that start line. So all of that just to say that it truly is life-changing. And as we came into that finish in Maritzburg that year, 2000, there was another novice running with us. One of the guys was leading a blind runner, so we were a little bus, and Tony stopped us, not physically stopped us, but she grabbed our attention as we turned into the stadium, and she said, Rory and Mark, look at me. She said, I'm getting goosebumps. She said, you're only ever going to have one first Comrades finish. So when you run into the stadium now, take the time to look around you. She said, look the people in the eye that are banging on those advertising boards when you're running past. And I've told that story every year since then to other novices that I've found on the road. So novices, take the time to remember your first Comrades finish. It's life-changing. It's a wonderful day out. It's the day that everything good about South Africa is on display. The Comrades Marathon is a bit like the Springboks. They show us what we can be as a nation and as a people. And men, you're allowed to cry when you cross the line or when you run into the stadium. So with that, I'm going to shut up and sit down. Thank you, Graham.
Good evening, everyone. I think this is on. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So lovely to be here. I know Graham is always hosting awesome events. So thank you for having us. My name is Nontuthuko Mashimane. I'm a big fan of the Comrades Marathon, and I've been part of this family for quite a while, and I'm very happy to be standing in front of you today. My first Comrades was 2015, and like Rory said, the first one is amazing. I just get goosebumps when I think about it. I get teary because I can still see myself finishing. I can still see the finishing banner at the Oval in 2015. So novices, take it in. It is the most memorable thing ever in your life. It's a life changer. So enjoy the journey. Today I'm going to be talking about running for charity. So Comrades Marathon has 6 official charities. Now, one thing I would love for you guys to understand that when you are choosing to run for charity, you're running for more than yourself. You're running for a bigger reason. You're running for more than a medal. And that is such a privilege because your life will never be the same. And I always tell people that once you run for charity, you are blessing people that can never pay you back. And you haven't lived on this earth if you haven't done anything for someone who can never repay you. So running for a charity is just that. And when things get tough, and I think the coach will talk about when things get tough, what do you do? But when you are running for a charity, you get a reason why to carry on because there are people who are believing in you. There's people who actually are thankful that you have chosen them to actually run the Comrades Marathon, which is such an awesome ultimate race in the whole world. So we have 6 charities. We've got Chalk, we've got Childline, Community Chest, we have Randpark, Rise Against Hunger, HACT. Those are our 6 official charities. So you choose whichever charity speaks to your heart, which charity resonates with you. Some people are running for Chalk because they have children or they have families who have children who are struggling with cancer. There's Childline, all sorts. There's people who love nature, want to give back to nature. There's Randpark. So as a runner, you just choose one of our official charities. One thing I'm going to say is that we are a bit behind when it comes to running for charity in South Africa, because if you look at marathons overseas, your London, your Tokyo, they thrive when it comes to running for charity. And I'm going to say this to you guys, in South Africa, the runners need you. They need you to actually take on running for charity because all that money is going back to our communities in South Africa. Next slide, Oli. Oh, thank you. So what are the fundraising platforms that we have at Comrades? We've got Race for Charity, which is you as a runner. What you need to do is just register to run for charity. That's one of them. And then when you actually entered Comrades, there was a link or there was a button that you would choose if you wanted to donate for charity with your entry when you entered. And then we have Toyota Win a Car competition. Some of you would have seen Randpark selling tickets, raffle tickets. There's a beautiful car that Toyota has given us so that you might be a winner by buying a ticket. All those tickets and all that money goes towards Amabidi Bidi. which is the platform that has given the 6 charities to raise funds on. And then don't forget at Expo, when you go into the Expo, you'll see the different charities with their stands. They have beautiful memorabilia. They've got things for sale. When you purchase, all that money is going towards charity. So since 1996, we've raised over 76 million rands as CMA. And we are hoping that for the 2017 100th run, we raise 100 million. So we need you to actually get us there. But it starts this year, next year, and the 100th one, we need 100 million, guys. It's so important that we hit that target. So how do you join to raise for charity? Right now, all of you have registered, you have your entries. So you'll go to the website and you go to a link that says raise for charity. You choose yes, you want to raise for charity, and then there's a link or there's a profile that you'll have to have, and you fill that in, and then you'll get a link that you'll be able to send to all the people that you want them to support you. Now, while I'm still here, I'm going to tell you that it's so easy to run for charity to raise funds. You know why? Because you're already a superhero. I mean, you're already doing something that is phenomenal and crazy. You're going to be trying to run from one city to another, which is about 90 Ks. And then on top of that, you are doing it for charity. So definitely your friends, your family, your church, at work, your colleagues, everybody is going to be wanting to actually support you. And I always say to people that some people think, where do I start? What am I going to do? And, you know, I don't want to be begging for money. Believe me, I've been doing this all the years I've been running Comrades, and it's easier because people see the passion of you taking on this race, but you are taking other people with you. So I do encourage you, take on running for charity, choose a charity, and then just tell people that, hey, I'm running Comrades Marathon, especially if you're running as a novice, your first Comrades, and you wanted to make it special, so you're running for something bigger than yourself, bigger than the race. And people will support you, I promise you. People love people who are selfless, people who are doing things for more than themselves. So when you have your link, send it around, put it on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp groups, everywhere. Every little counts. Remember that when you are raising funds, it's all about just people just giving what they can. And all that adds up at the end of the day. So there's the card that Toyota has given to us. With your 50 Rand ticket that you have bought, it goes into the draw, and perhaps maybe you'll be having a car at the end of this year just by buying a ticket or 2 or 10, up to you. So that is the car that Toyota has given to us and donated to us for us to actually raise funds for this beautiful initiative. So far, this is where we're at, okay? Community Chairs, Chalk, Childline, Hacked, Rise Against Hunger, and Randpark, okay? So this is where we're at, and we need so much more. So, with that said, I just want to say, tell you my experience about running for charity. Now, people think, again, and I'll start from the beginning. How did I actually get to run for charity? 2015, I think I was sitting at the same roadshow as this. It was in Maritzburg at Collegians Club. And I was sitting next to one of the staff members who actually, I asked, how do you run for charity? And she explained to me, and I chose my charity, and I ran for charity that year, and I've never stopped because of my Comrades is not the same if I haven't ran for charity. I think that's what gives me the drive to keep on coming back. And I ran for a charity for children. So when I see those faces, knowing that I'm contributing towards their early childhood development and education, it gives me such a big purpose. And one thing I can tell you is that running is actually a privilege. For you to be able to run, there's people who can't run. And here you are training for something that is huge in the whole world. So you are privileged. Running the Comrades Marathon is insane. It is awesome, but it's also a blessing. There's so many people that you are living their dream, that you are running Comrades each and every year. There's people overseas who wish one day they can come and run this awesome run. But running for charity is commendable. It's life-changing. And I always say that it's like paying it forward. Because whatever that you're doing right now, selflessly, with your ability to run, you don't know what is that for you in the future. You'll never think that, oh, it's because I decided to be selfless and run for something that, or people that need the money and they need the acknowledgement. So for me, it's always paying it forward, paving your way forward and actually, helping or actually directing the universe to bless you. So I am encouraging you to be a comrade and choose to run for charity, run for more than yourself, and make the whole community proud of at Comrades that you've decided to do more and do better and run for charity. So to all the novices, good luck, enjoy, take what the coach is saying. Believe me, there's a lot of coaches out there, but I think Lindsey will talk about that. But enjoy your journey, and as CMA, we absolutely are privileged to stage this race for you this year. Thank you.
Back to this, I've been doing this for 17 years, okay? And the message doesn't really change. So I was having a chat with Shona, who is sitting in front here, and I said, Shona, I've been saying the same thing for 17 years. I've got to say it differently because I'm worried I'm not going to be able to bring the energy. And so Shona helped me to basically take my message, but really just make it more exciting. So if you enjoy the presentation tonight, you can thank Shona afterwards. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. But yeah, and there are a lot of novices in here. So what I must tell you is that my presentation is going to focus on helping you prepare. Okay. There will be novice seminars too that you must come to, because those are going to focus a lot more on the race itself. And there will be some motivation, really getting into how to approach race day and that sort of thing. But today really is about preparing you for this great race. They are two different races. So you are doing, and that's a question that Rory didn't ask. So those of you that are running your first race, we've seen. Now I want to see the other hands that have done the up run, but this will be your first down run. Okay, so we've basically got a room full of novices. I've got one aunt who hates me because she was so gentle finishing Comrades 1 year. And, I was letting her enjoy it and whatever, but then after we'd had a few drinks and we were chatting, and I heard someone saying to her, now you're a Comrades finisher, you're not a novice anymore. I said, whoa. She is a Comrades finisher, but she's still a novice because she hasn't done the down run. She was very upset with me, but she came back and she got her back to back. So we really do have a room full of novices, which is awesome. And things... Right, so you see... Yeah, I can hear it's better, although I sound like a baritone now. Opera singer. So... we've still got to get over Polly Shorts and Chunga, Botha's Hill, Cowie's Hill, and the gatekeeper to Durban 45th cutting. There's still 1,000 meters of climbing on the down run, but there is 1,700 meters of downhill. And the thing that always catches, in particular the international athletes out, but pretty much anyone who doesn't regularly go to Durban, is that we harp on about the Big Five and we mentally prepare you for the Big Five, and everybody's ready for the Big Five, but nobody prepares you for all of these. We've got, after you've run Polly's, look at that. I know that this map isn't to scale, but really, Polly's really isn't much compared to the run up from the river at Little Intimbeni all the way up to 10 Mile Bridge where you run under the highway. You haven't run Comrades, so that won't mean anything to you, but it's a climb. Okay? Umlas, Umlaas Road, highest point on the course. So that takes you to about 23, 24 kilometers in. So at 23, 24 Ks, you will genuinely be thinking to yourself, good Lord, is this really a down run? Okay. So then we get to the Harrison Not So Flats. As you're preparing to go through halfway. And then one of the hardest little mental bits on the Comrades route is once you've come off Botha's Hill, you've got this little climb in Hillcrest. And I'll never forget seconding one of the elite guys that I was coaching at the time, and I met them at that point, and he looked at me and he said, I feel terrible. And I looked at him and I said, that's normal for here. Yeah. And he got over the other side and he ran his first sub 6 hour Comrades, and I saw him afterwards. He was really chuffed with his run, and he said, Lindsey, if I hadn't seen you there, I would have been in trouble, because when you told me it was normal to feel like that, it was okay. And he got over that little hump and he cruised through to the finish line once he'd gotten through. In Westville, so once you go over Cowies, you get, and you're running through Westville, and for me, that's some of the nicest running you'll ever run. It's downhill, but it's not steep downhill. So even if your legs are a little bit sore, it's actually or even a little bit very sore, but you can run, and you can run well, despite how you're feeling. But there is a little, I think it's just before 14 Ks to go. You go over what I call the spirit breaker, and then of course the big lie. When you get to 45th cutting, you get to the top, you believe that's the last climb you've run. All the spectators are telling you, that's it, you've done all the climbing, it's downhill from here. And you run 1.5 kilometers to the bottom of 45th cutting, and the first thing you do is you've got to run up the highway, and it looks like a brick wall in front of you. The good news is it's very short, and almost everyone walks up there. And by the time you get there, hopefully most of you will know that you're going to finish, and so you'll gladly walk. And then finally you'll get to Tollgate Bridge, and then when you go over that, we don't have the exact finishing distance yet with the new finish, but you're going to be very close to 5 Ks from there to the finish line. So you'll know, you can count them down in single digits. And then this is what the down run is all about. Okay, I've given you an idea of all the climbing, but literally this is what the downhill is about. Once you come off Botha's Hill, you run through Hillcrest and Kloof, and you hit Fields Hill. This is where the damage is done on the down run. And that's where a lot of Comrades' dreams are buried, because you just go down there too fast, and then you really struggle to run off. I almost said you really struggle to walk off. That's not that bad, but you really do struggle to run after that. Okay, so there's a special silence that descends on a Comrades roadshow after I've gone through the route. Okay, so now that I've got your attention, we can move on to getting you ready and slowly building your confidence over the next couple of months. Priority number 1, we want to get you to the start line. Okay? That is what these road shows are about. On the 8th of June, are you going to be one of these people running through that start gantry and just hearing that beep, 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 beep as you go over the map? But what's even more important than that is that we want you to finish Comrades. You need to be, there's 24,000 people that are running. In an ideal world, we'd get 24,000 people across the line, but that is really the dream. You need to be one of these people. Okay? And the second, okay, I'm jumping ahead already. That's why I shouldn't prepare when I read my slides, because it's better when they're a surprise. So This stat, you guys are going to get tired of hearing. If you jump onto the webinars, you come to the novice seminar, if you come to the talks at Comrades that we put on, you're going to get tired of hearing this, but it's just so true. 68% of runners who do not finish Comrades start with an injury. And we know this because we've done the surveys. We didn't make this number up. Okay? The number one reason for failure at Comrades is starting with an injury. There are obviously a couple of other reasons. People who don't prepare well, cramping is probably linked a little bit to that. People who run sick, please don't. Nausea, and the one part that I want to touch on with nausea is that a lot of the reason for nausea, and it won't solve everyone's problem, but for a lot of people, they practice nutrition a little bit, but they never practice nutrition at Comrades intensity. So there's almost nothing that you will do between now and Comrades that will be slow enough to replicate how easy you need to run in the first half of Comrades. And because you are moving at a much lower intensity over a longer period of time, your body isn't used to absorbing the nutrition in that way. Your sweat rates are different. The amount your body needs is different. The amount it uses is different, but you still shove it in the same way. So you've got to have these periods in your 3 or 4 runs in your program where you are actually going to see what it feels like to run at Comrades pace. If you're a silver medal hopeful, you do a lot of your training around 4:30 to just over the 5-minute mark. You do a lot of your racing at 4:15, and you get to race day, it's 5 minutes a K. Bill Rowan, you do a lot of your training around 5:15 to 5:30, race day, 6 minutes a K. You're trying to run a bronze medal, it's just over 7 minutes a K, but you do a lot of your training between between 5:45 and 6.5. So you see where I'm going with this. You've got to practice doing those slower runs, and that will make a big difference. And then it's also, there's a strong link here between nausea and medication. Okay, you shouldn't take anything on race day that you haven't run past a medical practitioner. Okay, every year there are cases in the medical tent of people that have gone into kidney distress and kidney failure, because when you are dehydrated, blood is diverted away from the kidneys, and the little capillaries around the kidney, they constrict. But pain meds and anti-inflammatories are also processed through the kidneys. But the kidneys have got compromised function, and so that medication actually damages the kidneys. And even if nothing happens this time, there's a next time and a next time, and that damage is cumulative. So do not take medication without consulting a medical practitioner. And I mean, the big one is Mypaid, Myprodol, those things all over the place, and that actually strips out your stomach lining. And that is why it's very closely linked to causing the nausea, because now your stomach lining's been stripped, and you're throwing glucose in there, and you start to feel sick. Okay. If you speak to a doctor and they tell you to do whatever it is they do, then also do me this favor. If someone says to you, it's okay to take 2, then take 2 with you. If you take 8 with you, you're going to take 8. Okay? And please do not, because you'll be amazed what you can find on the, you'll be running along, you'll be complaining about something, and someone will go, hey, what do you want? Hey, don't take stuff from people on the side of the road. Okay. Okay, burnout, and this one is key. This one is key, and it's very important for novices too. Because to train very hard for anything from now until the 8th of June, that is a long time. The phase we are in right now is actually creating the habit, building up slowly, and preparing your body to do the Comrades training, which starts in March. If you're already doing way too much mileage, by the time you get to May, you won't be excited about Comrades. You'll just want to get it out of the way. So hopefully there are a lot of people in the room that qualified last weekend or the weekend before, and now you're in a bit of a recovery period, which is excellent, because then you can freshen up physically and mentally, and then build yourself up slowly through February, start your training in March. But I've jumped ahead of my presentation. I'm going to talk about that just now, and then experimenting on race day. I mean, I don't know what else to say to people. You know, I don't know what other definition of nothing new on race day exists out there, but it seems to me that it doesn't matter how much I emphasize that, people will. I mean, when they used to have the proper, in fact, and they did it again, 2024, they had a Comrade shoe again. Now that we've got a Comrade shoe, people come to the expo, buy the Comrade shoe, and go and run in it on Sunday. We should have a chip in there that gives you an electric shock, and if you try and wear it before the 9th of June, please buy the shoe. Don't stop me. Don't let me stop you from buying the shoe. And then we get to priority number 2, which is that we want you to enjoy the race. So we want you to start, we want you to finish, but we really want you to enjoy the race. And without sounding too repetitive, for most of you, it's your first one. You really want to enjoy it as much as you can. Okay, so to steal one from Don Oliver, where are we now? Okay, we are 121 days from race day. Okay, we want to be laying our foundation now, creating the habit. Motivation is easy once we set the goal. So in the early stages of any training plan, the motivation gets you going. But motivation doesn't last for long. The next thing that needs to kick in is discipline. Discipline can last a little bit longer, but it still takes a lot of willpower and a lot of energy. But by being disciplined in the short term, you create the habit. And then the habit makes the consistency easy. And that's what we are trying to do between January and the 1st of March. If you haven't started doing strength training yet, please, you need to start. A great deal of my presentation is going to be dedicated to strength training. I am going to talk around qualifying a little bit too, and whether you've qualified or haven't qualified, chasing, seeding, all the rest of that. But what's super important is we've got 121 days to go, but it's really about the last 95-ish days. That is the critical training period. If you train well for the 10 to 12 weeks leading into Comrades, you're going to get it done. Okay. The first question you should be asking yourself is, are you following the right plan? Okay, there are plans on the Comrades website, so I don't need to go into mega detail about that, but it's so important that you select the right plan. The best way to improve is to train for where you are now and then work towards something. And it's also the best way to avoid getting injured. If you are a 4-hour marathoner, but you're trying to hedge your bets by doing just a little bit more, I'm going to follow the Bill Pro, and you are exposing yourself to injury risk. So if you're a finisher, 5 hours, need to change that. So if you're a finisher, if you're running between 4:25 and 5 hours, you are on the finisher's plan, around about a 2:25 half marathon. If you're a sub 4.5 hour marathoner, sub 2:10 half, you're on the bronze. Robert Machali, 1:55, 4 hours. Bill Rowan, 3:35, 1:45. Isabel Roche Kelly and Silver, 3 hours, 1:26. And then, I always make this joke. It's actually my favorite joke. And you guys are novices, so you haven't heard it before. Okay? Silver medal runners and these oaks, they have to train so much, but the reason they train so much is because they don't have any friends and they don't like their family. Okay? So, and that's a very small percentage of the field. Okay, so for the next 4 weeks, and this is where people, they don't believe me, but it is the reality. You don't want to be training too hard. And for novices, even good novices, even novices that are actually fairly accomplished runners, they haven't done Comrades, be careful of doing too much mileage, especially too early. The guys who've done 12, 13, they've got a hard body. It can take more. You need to be careful and build yourself up slowly. So in these early stages, we're looking at around 40 to 50, bronze 55 to 60, Robert Machali 60 to 80, Bill Rowan 70 to 90, and now you'll see exactly why I say they don't have friends and they don't like their family. Because that's a lot of running. It takes some hours. So you can only think where it gets to. Okay. Strength training. Okay. So I'm going to, and every year I guess I pick a theme, but for the down run for me, strength training is just such a non-negotiable. I would compromise on the kilometers that I run to make sure that I do strength training, so that you can prepare your body for that downhill. What's the word I want to use? But what makes the down run so difficult is that it's like, Comrades is like a boxer. It's softening you up for 60 Ks with all those climbs. And then it comes in for the killer blow with those downhills. And if you have strong glutes and quads, that's going to make a huge difference to you being able to run Comrades. So this is how runners generally view strength training, okay? So, and that's probably almost exactly what we look like. Chuckle, it's very funny. But let's go into it, okay? Strength training, it's going to prepare you specifically for Comrades, but it's not only about that. There's lots of magic in strength training. It helps reduce the risk of getting injured. So if there is a cheat code in running, it's strength training. So in our modern society where we get access to everything, it's instantly available, the one thing that is no shortcuts in prepping for Comrades. You've got to do the work. This is, okay, it reduces your risk of getting injured. It will help to make you more fatigue resistant and get you stronger to last longer and to withstand the eccentric load or pounding forces that you experience when you're running. And very importantly, it makes you more efficient. So if you're more efficient, that means that you will be going at the same speed but burning less energy. So it means you'll be able to keep going for much longer. Okay, so those are all the reasons why you want to do the strength training, okay? It reduces or it makes your body more resistant to the load from running, and being good at running long distances is being able to stay consistent in your training. So consistency is almost the single most important determinant of success in all spheres of life. Having good relationships is about consistently communicating. Doing well at work is about coming in and consistently doing what you're supposed to do every day to get to your goal. Running is exactly the same. And by doing the strength training, protecting your body from the load of running, you get to turn all your blocks green on your training plan. Okay. So I spoke about the efficiency and the biomechanics, so I'm just not going to go into it again. I'm jumping a little bit ahead. So you will get stronger for going up hills, okay? That is obvious. As you get stronger, you develop more power, and this is what I've alluded to. Look at how much downhill running we do in the final third of Comrades. That's what the strength training is for on Comrades Race Day. What strength training should we be doing? Okay? Resistance training. So the question we always get is Pilates strength training? Is yoga strength training? Is cycling strength training? So the answer is that all of those things are complementary forms of strength training. But the strength training that we're talking about to get you stronger, to make you more fatigue resistant, to reduce your risk of injuries, is resistance training. Now that can be body weight, particularly if you've done no strength training at all, and there's lots of great body weight exercises that you can do. But what we also want to be doing is progressing. Okay, so we want to, as you get stronger, to be adding more resistance and making you stronger as we go through this journey. How often should you be doing strength training? Twice a week is ideal, but we've got the saying at Coach Parry, 2 is ideal, but 1 is better than none. So if you don't have time to do 2 strength trainings, you must do 1. And if you don't have time to do 1, I would shorten one of my runs to make sure that I get some strength training in. It's that important, and we're looking at around about 45 minutes. Now, interestingly, for my dad, who dislikes strength training more than I do, and actually I've started to enjoy strength training, I set myself a challenge last year that I want to, when I turn 50, I must be able to just do body weight pull-ups. So I started last year, I could do 0 body weight pull-ups. So I had to go and buy myself a stretch band to hang over the bar so it can pull me up. Now I can do 3 sets of 8 with my band. Okay, so I'm still nowhere near doing them body weight. But that's what got me in the gym. And then while I'm there, I might as well work on the rest. And I can say officially, as of last week, I've started to look forward to my strength session. So you eventually can look forward to it. But my father, who really dislikes strength training, I gave him his plan, 45-minute session. I said, Dad, have you been doing your strength training? He said, you know what, I was really battling to do it. But I decided to break it up into 15 to 20-minute sessions, and I do it every day. So you can split up into different muscle groups and alternate those and do much shorter work every day. But ideally, twice a week, 45 minutes a session. Okay. Just like with running, we build in recovery weeks. You're going to do the same thing with your strength training. So your strength training will come down during your recovery week so that your body can repair itself and improve, just like we do when we're running. Okay? As we get into the very high mileage training weeks, probably April, around there, you will either reduce the load or cut back to 1 strength session per week so that you can maintain those strength gains that you've made, okay? And 10 days before Comrades or perhaps your qualifier, you will stop doing strength training so you can really recover and super compensate and be nice and fresh for race day. Okay. It's very important to do strength properly. Okay. So that's difficult because a lot of people don't have access to a gym perhaps, and that is one of the reasons why we do live stream strength classes from Coach Parry, because we can then watch what people are doing and make sure that they do it properly. And then you want to progress from where you are now. If you've never done strength before, then you are going to do things like single leg squats with body weight, step ups onto a low step, at your house, split squats, not walking lunges, those type of exercises, and then progress onwards from there. Okay. To touch a little bit on qualifying and seeding. So I obviously like people to qualify early, and by early, last year is probably ideal, but we don't live in the past. So if you haven't qualified last year, you do need to qualify. So my real rule with qualifying is to qualify when you're ready. So we prefer to qualify earlier. As I said not too long ago, because that allows you to recover now. It allows you to run a marathon to the best of your ability and get the best seeding that you can get. But then you can recover. And then you can slowly build up and train hard and march. But it is no good trying to qualify this weekend coming or the weekend after because Lindsey said you must qualify early. Because if you're not ready and you fail to qualify, then you've got a problem. Because now you've got to recover from this effort, and then you've got to try again. And that compromises your training. So if you are someone who's on the verge, you're struggling to qualify, it's very important that you do it when you are ready. And you have all the way until the first week of May. And I know that is nerve-wracking, and obviously if it's the very last race to qualify in, that's not a comfortable feeling. But you honestly want to qualify when you're ready. And I've worked with tons of people that have finished Comrades with only, I hate saying it like that, but only doing one marathon. So qualify when you're ready. If you are more fortunate, and qualifying in itself is not a big deal, then once we go beyond the middle of February, so I would say the very latest, the end of February, but the middle of February ideally, once you go beyond that, you don't want to be chasing your seeding, okay? You actually want to qualify as easily as you can, and of course if you really want to get forward in your seeding, then you can run for a good cause and be one of the first 500 people to get to 6,000 Rand, and you can go to CC batch. Okay. So seeding is important because it does help people settle their nerves. We're going to have 24,000 people lining up, and I'm actually going to go back into the stats. So for the novice seminar, I'll have those stats so that I can really get how much time is lost. But what I do have is all the stats from the last 6 or 7 years and then I kind of update those as I go. So I know how much time people lose crossing the start line for each batch. Now most people, once you've qualified, even with really good training, could only actually hope to go one seeding pen forward. So if we're talking A, B, or C batch, to go forward one pen, you're basically winning yourself between 30 and 60 seconds. For D, E, and F, it's about a minute to a minute and a half that you gain by getting forward one seeding pen. And then G and H, you're gaining about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes by going forward a seeding pen. But the effort required to move forward that 2.5 minutes is enormous, and the training cost afterwards, because you have to recover, is really big. And then the third and killer blow is the risk of getting injured after chasing that seeding is really high. And then you're putting yourself at your greatest risk of not finishing. So I always tell people, don't chase the pen. Focus your energy on becoming a 15 to 20 minute better Comrades runner on the day, because then that 2.5 minutes won't matter. Okay, so you're going to prepare properly. Very important, because people don't like to be at the back. But the webinar in May that we do, and the novice seminar, which in Joburg is going to be on the 12th of March, I will go through in detail how you can save yourself 20 minutes on race day. Okay, so make sure, go onto the Comrades website. The venue for that novice show hasn't been confirmed yet, but the date has, 12th of March. Keep checking on the website. Come back for that. It will be worth your while. Right, so now, how do you actually prepare for Comrades and plan for the next few months? And everyone likes to know what to aim for. So, in February we qualify if we need to. If you can't, that's okay. The golden rule is you're going to qualify when you're ready. In February, for most of us, we are hopefully now building up and preparing ourselves for March. Okay, Comrade season. So this is when I'm talking to people in March, when I tell them, right, it's never too late to panic. Okay, if you're not training properly by here, that's where we are. Okay. In April, we are doing our peak mileage. At the very end of April, for the novices, that's when I like you to do your Comrades long run. For the people that are more experienced runners, but perhaps just moving up in distance, we'll do that in early May. Okay, that's when we'll do our final race prep, our long run, and we move into tapering. Okay, so that gives you the flow of how we want to prepare for Comrades. And when we move into June, there's 8 days left to the race. If you're ever unsure whether you should do a session or shouldn't, the answer is you shouldn't. Okay, we try not to do nothing, but it's definitely okay to leave out sessions. Right, the Comrades plans are up on the Comrades website. There are finishes, bronze, Robert Machali, Bill Rowan, and silver. Anyone who runs faster than that should really have a coach. But that's where you will find exactly how to prepare, what paces you should be training at on your easy runs. So make sure that you download. If you want a more interactive experience, you can also go to coachparry.com. Very, very simple process. Now, consistency. I've spoken about it. It's why I hammered on about strength training, but consistency is the most important part of this journey. You're better off doing little bits over and over than doing massive workouts that lead to you being injured. Okay, it's what we do day after day, week after week, that help us to build this wall. All right. If we are not consistent, if we train badly, if we don't do the strength training, that's when, if we don't recover properly and we get illness or injury and we have to start missing these pockets of training, that's when we are building our brittle wall and we don't quite get what we're after. Okay, so how do we try and help you outside of strength to make sure that you recover properly? And we've got 3 pillars that I want you to focus on. Okay, rest days are important. We need to build recovery weeks in. I quite like to work on a 3-week build and then a 1-week recovery. And what you'll need to do in conjunction with that is have a look. Am I doing an Omni Dam? Am I doing a 2 Oceans? Where am I qualifying? So that you can build recovery weeks in after all those big efforts. Okay, make sure that you allow your body to recover from those efforts. We don't get fitter, faster, and stronger while we are training. We get fitter, faster, and stronger when your body repairs the damage that was done during those efforts. And then our body doesn't like to be caught wanting. So it'll go, hang on, how can I improve things around here so that next time I feel a bit better when I try the same task? And that can only happen if you allow your body to recover. Right, that's why yes, I was so confused there. I was like, okay, I don't. So, sleep. So the pillars, let me just say the pillars, because then I won't confuse myself. But it's rest and recovery, it's sleep and nutrition. So those are our 3 pillars, okay? So with sleep, we want to focus on the quality, not necessarily the number of hours. There is a number of hours, but in talks, when I tell people how long they should sleep, I lose half the room. Because if you give someone an impractical solution, they will never try and follow it. So what we are going to try and do is we're going to try and improve the quality of your sleep. How do we do that? A couple of easy steps. Sleep, like much else in our life, is about habit. So if you get into bed at a similar time every day, you do similar things, it will improve your ability to fall asleep earlier, and it makes sure that you have better quality sleep. If you get off screens, TV, laptop, cell phones, that also helps your brain to quieten down much faster. It also means that you have a much better quality of sleep. Your environment that you sleep in, if you keep it cool and dark, free of flashing lights or a TV on standby or a cell phone that when someone messages you, a blinking light comes on. Cool and dark, that will improve the quality of your sleep. Okay, so that's what we're after. And what I also want to stress about these things is it's not about being perfect all the time. Okay? But as we get into March, and in particular April and May, when we're in our peak training, if you can get into bed 30 to 40 minutes earlier than you normally do, more times than you normally do. So if you've got a 7-day week and you're getting it right 4 to 5 days a week, brilliant. That is going to make a big difference to your recovery. Okay. Nutrition. So now this is really, I mean, it's longer than the strength talk all on its own. But what I want to do is really just stress 2 important factors. Not go into too much detail about what, when, and how. But at our next webinar, we will have a dietitian on. So tune in, because that will then focus in the detail. The ladies webinar, which we've already done and is up on the Comrades website, we also have a dietitian that talks very specifically around female nutrition. So please go and watch that webinar. Okay. And then those ladies boot camps, we will have a dietitian there too. So if you haven't signed up yet, the Joburg boot camp is almost sold out. Yeah, what's the date of that? 22 March, but you can go onto the website and you can book your spot. It is almost sold out. So I like to split the day into during training and between training. In training is all about fueling your body and kick-starting the recovery process. Okay. So that period in training is literally the duration of your training session and the first hour after exercise. Your body is primed during that whole period to absorb simple carbohydrates and to push them into the working muscles. And that part's important, because when we move into the in-between exercise, the body's not so good at processing simple carbohydrates. It'll push some of them into the liver, but most of them it'll just convert into fat and store. Okay. So very simple carbohydrates during exercise and in the first 45 to 60 minutes. And it is important to take them in. because it'll push those carbohydrates in the form of glycogen into your muscles, and then your muscles are primed for tomorrow's training, and so the recovery process is far ahead. To give you an idea, if you miss that window, it will take the body 72 hours to reload that muscle glycogen. So you can either reload it instantly or take 3 days. So in exercise, simple carbohydrates and a small amount of protein. You don't need to take in loads of protein, but if you just put in a small amount of protein, it primes the body to start the repair process. And then as long as you are getting in enough protein through the rest of your day, then your body will repair itself and you'll recover properly. So between exercise, that's when we focus on just eating well, having your normal meals, making sure that you're giving yourself a balance of complex carbohydrates, protein, some fats, getting in your a couple of fruits, etc., etc. But in exercise, we have processed simple sugars to reload that muscle glycogen with a little bit of protein. Okay. Right. Yeah. 68%. So, what we want to do with injuries, because remember, 68% of the people who don't finish Comrades started with an injury. So we want to prevent injuries. We've had a little bit of talk about recovery, but what we want to do, if and around injury, we firstly want to try and prevent them or reduce the risk by doing strength training. If we get injured, we must rest. Most of the injuries that people get, with 2 to 3 days of rest, they are sorted and you carry on. It's our own stubbornness and insistence on, oh, it's not so bad. I mean, I can feel it, but it's not so bad. It's a little bit sore, but this run is just so important. So I'm just going to go and do 40 runs, 40 kilometers on my sore leg. That's how we really get injured and then are out. So a couple of days off, some ice and compression means that you'll miss hardly any training. If that happens to you 2 to 3 times through the training process, no harm done. But if you ignore it, train on it for 5, 6, 7 days, becomes chronic, now we've got to go for treatment. Physio tells you can't run for 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks, you're in a panic. You start training too hard, too quickly, something else breaks down. Okay, so we take our medicine. Okay, we rest, ice compression, and then if we haven't started doing strength yet, we also do strength, because strength will help to activate the right muscles when you start training again, so that the body protects itself better during that training. And if you rest something for 2 days and it doesn't improve, go and see a physiotherapist. Get it treated. It's probably not going to get better quickly on its own. Okay. If you get sick, and this is more about when we get to race day. Okay. If you get sick now, there's no upside to training. You're going to take longer to get better. You're putting your health at risk, and you're probably going to get even sicker. Okay. This is more around, as we're getting to race day, what do I do? Now, if you have a viral infection, you really don't want to be exercising. Okay. So we do use our heart rate. Typically, if you have viral infection, your heart rate is going to go up. If your heart rate is more than 5 to 10% above your normal resting heart rate, you should not be exercising. Okay. You want to then rest until that heart rate comes back to within 3 to 4 beats of your normal resting heart rate. Okay, so training plans, you can find coachperry.com and on the Comrades website. And Our next webinar will be taking place on the 5th of March. The Novice Roadshow in Joburg will be on the 13th of March, and the Ladies Boot Camp will be on the 22nd of March. So diarise those dates to get more great information from Comrades. So we do have one last guest speaker, and that is Shahieda Thungo, who I have met before. So yes, she holds a diploma in information technology and advanced certificate in cybersecurity. She's also a seasoned Comrades marathoner with 7 finishes under her belt. She's currently preparing for her 8th. In 2025, she was honored with the Esteemed Spirit of Comrades Award. What is unique about her journey, though, is that she is the only female Comrades bus driver, where she experiences the immense joy
Coach Lindsey said a lot. And as runners, we don't really listen to what Coach Lindsey says because, well, I mean, we want to run a silver, but I'll train at a gold medal program that someone threw over the fence. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shahieda Thungo. Not many runners know my name is Shahieda. Exactly. They call me Makhi. So the novices, I saw a few hands in the room, but let me tell you something. Even if you are running your 20th Comrades, you are a novice. Because every year when you go to that field or that start line, it's your first Comrades again. You learn something new on that route every year. So when you're going, I don't like to call you guys novices. If you are running your first ever Comrades marathon, let's not talk about whether you finished or you didn't finish before. It is your first Comrades. Get to that start line a bit overweight and a little bit undertrained. You are going to lose a lot of weight on the day. Trust me. But get there with a why. Ask yourself, why are you running Comrades? Not because Makhi's there, she drives the 12-hour bus, she will get you there. I can get you to the finish, but you are going to not run. Running is overrated. You are going to be vertical, and you are going to move forward. It doesn't matter how, forward is forward. And after 60 kilometers, Comrades starts. Starts. You train, you do your long runs, you get from 0 to 60, and that is where your training gets you. After 60 kilometers, your why is going to kick in. Why are you running Comrades? Get a very deep why. I mean, Nontuthuko said, run for charity. Run for something bigger than yourself. Whether it's a divorce, the death of a spouse, but as a woman, a divorce and a breakup is a good driving force, trust me. And that big thing that you are running for is your why. Because you're going to ask yourself, why am I here? You're going to look like crap. You're going to feel like crap, but you're going to keep going. I say I don't look like my problems, and I refuse. When I cross that finish line, people will say, I want to look like Makhi when I finish Comrades, because I look good when I finish Comrades. So get there with your why, armed, and carry it with you. And there's a word in isiZulu called inkani. It is, what is the English word? Stubbornness. You need a lot of stubbornness and mental fortitude to carry you there. And pack it. You know, whether you're going to fly or drive, don't put it in your hand luggage, because that gets lost. Along with your shoes and your running clothes, don't put it in hand luggage. You keep it on you. Your mental fortitude and your stubbornness, you put it here. You carry it next to your heart. Because as you continue on that journey, on that day, you take it out bit by bit. And if you put it in your pocket, you know things get heavy at Comrades. You know, you start all the gels and things that you're going to buy at the expo. Because Coach Parry said nothing new on race day. Coach, do they buy things at the expo that they use on? Of course they do. So you go with that vest, because now we have the vest, right? It's packed. That thing weighs about 10 kgs. And you pack everything in there, and it's like you're going to war, you know. and you chafe, and the men, they bleed, but your child is there. So, you know. So carry it here and take it out bit by bit. So if you put it in your pocket, when it gets heavy, you take it out and you throw it out. You throw it away, right? And then there goes your mental fortitude. Carry it with you wherever you go. Your why is so important. And I think we underestimate just how important it is. I have a very big why that I'm running Comrades. And I've had my why since I started my first Comrades. And it has carried me all the way. I run because I'm a cancer survivor. I don't like to say survivor, conqueror is more the appropriate word. And I got diagnosed with cancer a week after my husband passed. And I attempted suicide 3 times. I was hopeless at that, Coach Parry, because, well, I didn't have the consistency you talked about, you know. So that is why I run. Find yours, and it will carry you on that road. Comrades is not tough. Two Oceans is. Comrades is long. Very, very long. I've run 7 Comrades, and I run them. I drive the 12-hour bus, and I make it. I get to halfway at 6 hours. I never panic on the road. Behind me at the start, Coach Parry, is the ambulance. Literally the ambulance. I don't care about seating. I run 1 qualifier. I get my H seating, and I'm very comfortable with it. When I look behind me is the ambulance. If I don't see the ambulance, then I start to panic. So I see the ambulance at the start of the race. In my bus, there are about 7 runners or about 10 runners with me. But when I get to the finish, there is this cow train with the Shosho Loza male, and it fulfills my soul to carry. And even if it's only 1 runner to the finish, it really fulfills my soul. And and you know, Coach Parry said, anything can happen on race day. I mean, I've had A-seaters in 12-hour bus. We don't ask questions. We don't judge. And please, A-seater, when the hippos, which is the H-seaters, find you, don't explain. It's okay. Because we don't ask. Anything can happen. But the point is, as long as you finish, you don't owe anyone an explanation. If your bow rowan doesn't happen, boo-boo, go to, okay, if your goal doesn't happen, you go to Wally. If Wally doesn't happen, go to Isabel and Silver. If it doesn't happen, go to Bill Rowan. Kanjalo. You get what I'm saying. We can move the goalpost, you know, as long as you don't support Kaizer Chiefs, it's a different story. But it's okay to move the goalpost. But whatever you do, you don't stop. You do not sit down, and don't take off your shoes. Don't take off your shoes, because you might not be able to put your foot back in it, because it will swell and now you will say, oh, now what? You are going to be in pain. I don't think they told you before, right? You are going to be in pain. You're going to feel like you are dying. But as long as you are feeling, you are okay. Because if you are dying or if you are dead, you don't feel. So while you are feeling, you are okay. But keep moving. The guys who are supporting Comrades, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your work is cut out for you. You are going to work hard. Be comfortable. Don't wear jeans if you're going to go and support. Or ladies, don't wear 8-inch heels because you'll be the most useless supporter. Don't be intoxicated if you are supporting your runner. Be comfortable, wear running clothes, and be vigilant of your surroundings, because as much as you are supporting your runner, there are thieves on the road. So keep everything on you, your car keys, your phone, and the guys who are supporting, please take good pictures of us. Make sure you have a power bank because your battery is going to die. Be prepared to wake up at 2 a.m. with your runner. Do not go back to bed. You need to start driving to the spot where you will be supporting. Don't go to halfway. Your runner don't need you before halfway. Your runner will start needing you from after Injanga. So Injanga is the one hill that on the up run and the down run, it's the same. It's up and up and up. Learn to walk. I walk at 8.5 minutes a kilometer. I've got a mean walk. You evil. But make it part of your training. Don't let it be a surprise to you on the day that you are going to walk. Walk early. Before 10 kilometers, make sure you have walked at least 2 or 3 times. Before the sun rises, your body is going to reward you after 60 kilometers if you walk early. There is no banking time at Comrades. Don't say to yourself, if I get to halfway at 5:10, then I will have a lot of time banked. Oh, no, you won't. That 20 minutes that Coach Parry says he can save you, he will save you if you actually start pacing yourself early. If you're trying to bank time, you are going to lose almost an hour. And that hour is between you and your finish. So don't be that one. Walk early, eat early. By 15K into the race, make sure you have had something to eat. And I'm not talking about a gel. There is no substitute for food. You need to eat. There's Makhi, there's potatoes, there's jelly babies, bona, there's everything on that road. You must just be vigilant on what you are going to eat. There's boerewors. There's even beer on the road. And ice cold beer, by the way. But make sure in your long runs, you have tried and tested it. If beer is your thing that gives you a kick at around, say if you do your long run at around 50K or so, then at around maybe 70 or 80Ks into the race, it's the thing that tell your supporters to do that. For me, it's biltong. The very soft one with fat around, it does the things, and an appetizer after 60 kilometers, because it's a different taste into the mouth than Coke. Because after a while, the Coke becomes too much in the taste of it in your mouth. Make sure you eat, I've said that. Make sure you wear comfortable clothes. Ladies, Victoria's Secret is not for Comrades. Do not wear it on the day you are going to look for a scissor. You are going to cut that undergarment that costed you 400 rand. The weave, leave the weave, baby girl. It's not for Comrades. You are going to cut it. Gentlemen, if you are used to going commando in your training, go commando on race day. I don't have to explain what commando is, right? So if you are wearing what we call the mamhlongo, which is that big bloomers that looks like a tent, wear it on race day, continue with that. But it's an amazing journey. You are going to cry. At Comrades, you cry at the start, You cry at the finish, and you cry during because you are angry. You are going to curse because you are in pain. But whatever you do, be like an ambulance. You know when an ambulance picks you up at your house, it goes wee, 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 all the way to the hospital. It cries going forward. You be that one. Do not stop for anything. The guys who are supporting, train to support your runners. You are going to run, start your app. You might be doing at least 25K on the day, running up and down, because you won't be only supporting your runner. There are guys in your clubs, there will be just everyone on the road that you will be supporting, but keep a little extra for others who are on the road. Your name is going to be very big on your pub. We are in KZN, they're going to butcher your name. They're going to call you, well, Lindsey, they're talking to you, Coach Lindsey. So take it in, novices, take it in. They're going to butcher your name, but they're talking to you. There'll be a Goko who's going to say to you, oh, Mtanam, oh, Zamtanam, and she'll be like this next to you. She's there for you. There is nothing that anyone can tell you that is actually going to prepare you for what's going to happen and how you're going to feel on that day. You're going to go through those two cities. You're going to see extreme wealth and extreme poverty. Be very aware of how privileged you are to be on that road. My first Comrades, my boss told me to carry some coins to run with. That I had some coins, and she said to me, you will see someone that will just speak to you, and not in so many words. There was a little boy, I think he was around 8 years old, that stood on the side of the road. This was a valley of 1,000 hills. Now, a valley of 1,000 hills is very green. It's 1,000 years of manure. We know runners. Yeah. So if you think you are a lady when you go to Comrades, you won't be a lady. Carry a buff and wipes, you'll thank me later. So I saw this little boy standing there, and I just went to him and I put a 5 Rand coin in his hand. I mean, a 5 Rand is not much, right? It doesn't pay much, to do much. This little boy took this 5 Rand and he said to me in very deep isiZulu, like, ngiyabonga mama, namhlanje sizolala sihlile. Meaning, thank you so much, Mama. Tonight we are going to bed with a meal in my stomach. And I like, what? It's just a 5 Rand. When I give my daughter 5 Rand, she's like, mommy, what must I do with 5 Rand? That 5 Rand, this boy thought he was probably going to buy a loaf of bread so that himself and his siblings and his family will have a meal. So carry some coins if you can. Carry some old clothes, but please do not give someone something that you won't wear. That is my belief. Have an old t-shirt. We're starting in Pietermaritzburg. It's very cold. Very, very cold. So have a light jacket, something that's not of value, because I really hate that word. I don't like giving people someone things that I feel is not of value. Just something, and you will see someone on that road. Don't just throw it on the side of the road. Give it to someone. You'll see a child, you'll see a grandmother, whoever, but give it to them. You will just change a life. As Nontu said, pay it forward. Let that race or that journey, let's not call it a race, let that journey shape Ubuntu in you, the spirit of Ubuntu. Let it wake it up in you, the spirit of humanity. Because everyone on that route who is there, from the Comrades Marathon Board, to the coaches, to your running clubs, to your family, they are there for you. Keep it in, pay it forward, and say please and thank you to whatever anyone is giving you on the road. People are going to give you, someone is going to give you a gel. It might not be something that you use, but take it, don't throw it away while they can see it. Take it. Keep it in your pocket. You'll throw it away when you get to your hotel. And this is the down run. There's nothing down about the down run. It's only called the down because you are going down to Durban. Toenails are overrated. It's gonna go, ladies, that manicure, pedicure, whatever you call it. You're not gonna see toenails for a while. You're gonna get to Fields Hill, and the camber on the road is bad at Fields Hill. It's kind of like this. So you need to find a way to run. And the down run has 3 kilometers of going down at Fields Hill. You're exhausted. You, excuse my French, you are heartful because you have done so much. You have clobbered the whole way. You just want to get this thing to finish. But wash your face and go down nice and easy down that down run, down Fields Hill. After Fields Hill, you saw there, ne? You're still going to do a little bit of that thing. I don't want to say climb or up, but you're still going to do a bit of that. But strength training is important. You're going to need quads. And you're also going to need this thing, glutes, or bum. You need butt muscles, and very strong ones, because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel like your derriere is falling out. Your eyebrows are going to pain. You're going to chafe in all the places, in every crack. Put Vaseline. Let Vaseline be your friend. Nothing fancy, just Vaseline. And gentlemen, we really don't care if you open up and put it in there. It's okay. We've seen it over the years. Ladies, under the bra, under the boobies, make sure you put Vaseline. I actually put my bra inside out. It helps because the thing that actually makes you chafe is the stitching. If you run in a skirt, wear another tights underneath because that thing rides up. Trust me. The tights you can put inside out. Your shoes, the coach told you no new shoes. If you have to buy new shoes, buy the exact same shoe that you were training in, but take out the inner soles from the old shoe and put it in. If you sweat a lot in the feet while you're doing your long run, put in panty liners. It actually absorbs the sweat. Vaseline between your toes, in every crack, on the eyebrows. You've seen the boxers do that because the sweat actually goes into your eye. So if you put Vaseline, the sweat jumps over. Behind the ears, because you actually chafe behind the ears as well because the salt. Make sure you wash your face. Don't look like your problems. People have very good cameras on that day. I am telling you, they have those X-ray kind of things. You don't want to be caught in some kind of way. Look good. Be comfortable and smile. You know, it's the only first Comrades that you will be running. And then there's only one first Comrades. And give thanks. Pray about it. Ask from the Almighty. Doesn't matter what your belief or your religion is. Every cut off that you pass, celebrate it. Celebrate it like it's the last thing you're going to do in your life. I drive the 12-hour bus. I get to halfway at 6 hours. It's more than enough time for you to go and finish Comrades. I finish in mostly 11:57. So I technically run a negative split. So yeah. So your friends are going to find you. Your friends are, and especially men. I don't know why, coach. Do the men run on testosterone, I think, right? But the best paces are women. So so if you can, you follow a lady, she will get you to the finish. We run very conservatively. Teach yourself that habit. Hold back. When you feel like going faster, the coach is still going to have a lot of seminars about it. I've done 7 and I'm always in his seminars. When you feel you have the energy to go faster, don't. Hold back. In the last 10K, listen, you can unleash it. And you will have an amazing, amazing, amazing run. From me to you, All the best in your run. Have an amazing journey. The training is the toughest and qualifying is the toughest for Comrades. On the day, it won't be that bad. And then just before I go, I just want to show you a little something there. This and this. So I received this last year, which is the Spirit of the Comrades Award. And I just want to say to each and everyone who nominated me, thank you so much. I'm just a little girl who runs long, who runs slow, and and who has endurance and has a way of taking just at least one runner to the finish. And I have a very expensive little box here. Graham, if you can just help here. This is the coin that I have that I received. It's the Spirit. It's how many carats of gold? Quite a lot. I insured it. And then I just also want to show you guys what you can get when you finish Comrades. Can you give me this? The medal? Yes. So you're going to run 90 kilometers for getting this. It's very tiny. My daughter runs 5 kilometers and she has this huge medal. When she saw my first medal, she's like, mommy, this isn't even a 5-op. It's smaller than a 5-op. But this will be the most precious thing that you will ever receive in your life. Make sure you get this. And for the novices, you're going to get the badge at the finish. Make sure you get that badge and you stitch it on. You worked for it. When you get to meetings and in our black cultures, we have the Lobola negotiations. The uncles should be consulting you because they didn't run Comrades, you did. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheena. That was, been doing this for 19 years, 17 Comrades, and that was the best talk. And you don't need to come on the 13th of March anymore. It was all there. No, just kidding. Thank you. That was really, really amazing. We're going to close out the evening with a little video from one of the main sponsors, Mr. Price Sport. And then we're going to take questions from the floor. And yeah, because some people probably want to get their beauty sleep, I'll stick around afterwards and answer questions for anybody that has anything to ask. But yeah, Toli, if you can.
Just quickly, what I want to announce is that Lindsey will be joining us here on the Candace date, 26th of February, and he's going to be talking a lot about recovery and so on. So do join us. It will be a free of show again, and that will be right here, same time, same place.
Thanks, Graham. Right, let's hit play there, and then we'll do a Q&A.
Evening, guys. My name is Kuliso. I'm gonna be running Comrades for the first time this year. After today's seminar, I'm quite pumped. I think I've learned a lot of things that I was not aware of. One of the things that I think I need to work up on is strength training, because I was not aware that for you to be to finish Comrades or for you to finish any ultra run, you need to take your strength training into consideration. So after that, I think I'll try and do my level best to be ready for the 8th of June, and then definitely finish the Comrades Marathon. All right, thanks.
How's it? I'm Jared. This is my first Comrades. Very excited. Happy to hear that coach said that biceps are very important for the race. But yeah, we're very excited and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Hi there. It's Regan, also a novice. Looking very forward to it. Looking nervous as well after seeing the map go up. But yeah, tonight really helped just ease some nerves and get a better understanding of what we need to do.
How's it? I'm Connor, also a novice. was also quite nervous coming to this, more hopeful to just finish. But this was a reality check and a good one in saying that it made me realize it's going to be quite achievable.
Let me just, have you found your why you are going to do Comrades? Because they spoke of the why. Has anyone of you found their why?
So I'm going to be doing it for my brother. He's going through, he's battling a bit, so I'm doing it for him.
Yeah, no, I'm still thinking through a few of them. Yeah.
Same, Masar.
Hi, my name is Caroline Lee. I've done 7 Comrades, and I've got a suggestion for the down run. Pietermaritzburg is very cold, and instead of using those black plastic bags, you're going to spend a long time on the bus, and you're going to spend a long time once you get to Pietermaritzburg on the tarmac waiting for the race to open, usually between 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So my suggestion would be to, instead of using those black plastic bags which trip runners along the way, a lot of runners fall during the start, is to buy 1 or 2 of those thin blankets. Firstly, you can cover yourself and sleep on the bus. Secondly, you can put it under your bum while you're sitting on the tarmac, waiting for the race to start, and you can cover yourself and keep warm. And once the race starts, these blankets you can donate to the people that are standing on the side of the road, or any of the ones in the KZN. It really, really helps them a lot. So that's my suggestion.